Hello and welcome to another episode, a special episode of the Women Can Do Show. I am your host, Rochelle Sawyer Cobb, and I have with me my special guest. She's back. She's been on the show before, Miss T. Christine.
Hey,
But hey, welcome
everybody.
back. Welcome back. And so this episode is a special episode. It's a recap of our fifth annual I Can Do Women Empowerment Conference that we just had this past Saturday. Our theme was Restored and Ready. So this is your Restored and Ready recap. Miss T. Christine was one of our power panelists. So that's why I had to have her come back and do this recap with me so we can just kind of share, some things that happened, and she can kind of give her what she received from the conference. So first of all, I want to thank everyone who supported this conference, everyone who attended, our scholarship donors, everyone who participated. I just want to give another, I know I did it at the conference, but I want to give another heartfelt thank you to everyone who in some way supported and impacted this conference, because we were a blessing to our four scholarship recipients, which was Raven Cobb, who is attending Cal State University Dominguez Hills. We had Anastasia Singletary. She is attending Cerritos College. We had Jayla Wilridge. She's attending Southern University in Louisiana. And we had Kennedy Alexander, who was also attending Southern University in Louisiana. These four young ladies are absolutely amazing. So I want to thank you all for helping us to be a blessing to them and send them off to college well. So let's get into it, Miss T.
Yes, God. It was so good. So good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful conference. It made me so excited just for what is to come.
Yeah.
The girls being able to receive their scholarship from when they, because they started with you. Such a
Yeah.
beautiful moment. And a highlight for me was just the dynamic of your Men of the Movement presentation for the men in your family in honor of just the patriarch of your family that is your dad. Such a beautiful, beautiful moment of real time, a legacy. It was beautiful to see just the epitome of Black excellence, Black legacy in the room, and the overwhelming overflow of love that you could feel in the room. Amazing. Your father's spirit definitely took over the room at that point. And it just was phenomenal for me. So confirming as well. The conference, I'm still, just in awe of God. Being there, traveling for speaking engagements is my favorite thing, but this was different. It really was its own experience. And for me, just so powerful, so confirming, so God breathed. Like there's a lot of people doing the things that myself, Rochelle, do. In every city, you have plenty of people who do things, give back, and do some of the things that we do, even outside of just conferences, events, and so many things. But it's different when we truly are carrying our mantle for certain things. You feel that in the room. And I mean from everybody up to down, from the panelists to the girls to the people who were serving the food there. You could tell, Rochelle, that you did not micromanage anything. You kind of just, everybody was booked and in their place. Like, this is your place. And it came together so well. And just even the servant leadership in that. Just phenomenal. Like I said, for me, it has been so confirming for me, spiritually. Very confirming for me of God in my life, and the mantle that's in the call on my life. So like I said, even when I was during the press conference on the red carpet, I'm always looking as iron sharpens iron
Mm-hmm.
for God to also drop what he needs for me as I
Yeah.
leave every room. I'm always humble, always grateful for every speaking engagement, and I've been speaking for a while, but
Yeah.
I'm always grateful for every last one. I'm always approaching each one very differently, for fresh, looking to hear fresh wind from the Lord about whatever the theme may be or whatever the case may be. So I'm always looking for him to show up, and he showed up full. Like, we
He
left
did.
here full. It was
Yeah.
a full, everything
I'm
came through
still
perfect.
full.
Yes. Like, it was full to the overflow. Like,
Yeah.
we were not empty. Nobody felt like, whew, like work's
Mm-hmm.
over. Nobody felt like that.
Yeah.
And that is the difference between, walking in business and then standing on your father's business and walking in purpose for me.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. You brought some energy. People were talking about my sister complimented on how your energy was just everything. Not even when you weren't when you walked in.
Yeah.
She was like, her energy was just like she was excited to be there. You know what I mean? Like you just that stood out to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like her energy was just everything.
Yes.
And so of course when you guys got up there and just took that to another level, it was
Oh
like,
my God.
oh my
So,
God.
yeah.
And
Nobody
you know
planned.
what? It's interesting. I actually sat down during the panel discussion and got to like really take it in because I'm
Yeah.
usually like,
Moving around.
moving around, and it's just not even really because I have to, because I have people in place that, like I said, like you said, I don't have to micromanage because
Mm-mm.
I trust the people
Yeah.
that I put in
Yeah.
place to do certain things, right? So I'm not gonna micromanage it because if I do that, that means I don't. Why would I even have them do it, right?
Yeah. If I
So I
felt like,
don't do the whole micromanage thing, but I do usually like to like I'm still usually like moving. So this time I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me sit down and
yeah.
actually like just take this all in. And when I tell you I had chills when you all were up there on that panel, just so for those who weren't there, Miss T Christine was one of the panelists.
Yeah.
My sister Andrea Wright, she was one of the panelists. Miss Nikki Rich from the Nikki Rich Show, she
Yeah.
was one of the panelists. Ayana Blunt, or the passion strategist, you all know her.
Yes.
She came back this year to host, and it was the combination. It was you three plus Ayana that when I tell you
It just gelled.
oh my God, it was like next level. It
Yeah.
was next level, and I can't find the right one word to
Right.
describe it, but it was so powerful that I'm still full. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm still
And that's what I mean by it being confirming, because only God could do that. Like,
yeah,
literally,
yeah,
even your process of how you chose each one of the speakers and
yeah,
all of that, it all was more about God
yeah.
choosing your panel for you, and you
Oh my
allowing
gosh.
him to let it move,
Yes.
because us three didn't know each other all, we didn't,
That
and it
yeah,
just gelled.
that's
It just went perfectly together. We just, and
yeah.
even everything, and that's what I mean by, as I reflected with God, he was just so intentional about it, because
Yeah.
even us sitting at the table again, when we're a lot of times in business, because I've been in business a little while now. You go
Yeah.
in these rooms, and I think that's what your sister meant. Like, I don't come in a room as like, you can tell I have a plan. I'm here, because I was
Mhm.
booked and all of the
Mhm.
things. But I
Mhm.
was excited to see who was there. I
Yeah.
wanted to know them, connect with the women in the room,
Yeah.
and have them feel like my sister and all of the things. So that kind of intentionality is always me anyway, but it gelled
Mhm.
because every woman on the panel was the intentional in that way. And
Yeah.
even us, we started connecting at the table. So by the
Mhm.
time everything moved to the stage, it just breathed,
Wow.
because it was so, like I said, at the table, we could have just said hi, and it could have just
Yeah.
been us in our head, or just thinking of this as another gig or another book. But we
Yeah.
were talking with one another as sisters. It truly was an evening of all the things. Like you said, there's no one word, because it really was an embodiment of
Yeah.
true sisterhood, true women empowerment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we were empowering each other at the table, and then
Yeah.
that overflowed on the stage.
Yeah.
As we were just conversating with one another. And it
Mm-hmm.
does, I think that also set the precedence for the stage because it was easier for us to have the conversation.
Mm.
The panel
Right.
wasn't so tense. Like
Yep.
I said, you go to places and you see a panel and it can be very tense. People are coming as the experts, but it felt like a conversation amongst women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that, it just God had his way.
Yeah.
Even though we planned, everybody planned, we all came prepared. I think that we none of us could have prepared for how
No.
exactly it was going to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it exceeded all of our expectations. Because like you said, full is if you had to use one word,
Yeah.
full. It
Cool.
was just full, filled up. You didn't need anything else. You wanted to sit with that, bask
Yeah.
in that,
Yeah.
and let that lie after the
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
And like you said, still being able to glean from some of the what my sister passion strategist calls gem for your pen.
Gym for your pen.
So yes, gem for your pens, because it was a few things that you could truly walk away from, and like I said, walk away with things that you can stick to your ribs,
Yeah.
that you can use in your everyday rhythm of life,
Yeah.
to transform as you're on whatever journey and whatever juncture you are in your journey of purpose. So
Yeah.
it was amazing. Amazing. I
Yeah.
can't, like, next year, everybody get in the room,
In
get
the
in the
room.
room, get involved with what is going on, because the
Yeah.
young ladies of I Can Do girls are truly the next young women of purpose. And this
Yeah.
generation is the generation of move fast. They
Mm-hmm.
already are thinking of the great things that they want to do. Let's
Yeah.
invest, let's pour into. This is definitely one of my recommendations of organizations giving back that you can give to. If you need a cause to give to, if it's been on your heart, if the Holy Spirit has been unctioning you to give back in some way, definitely start with I Can Do, because those girls were so grateful,
Yeah.
and doing really good things. Like they have a plan going into their freshman year of college. One of the highlights for me also was just being able to kind of talk with them for a little while,
Yeah.
and just get to know them. Sweet, sweet girls. It's necessary what you're doing. And like I said, just even in your process on your own personal journey, for you to stand up the way that you did and serve those girls and present that scholarship. Awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was awesome.
And these young ladies are so, like, and I think I mentioned this to you, they have goals. Like, I had
Yeah.
a coach, for those who don't know, the young ladies that receive the scholarships have been a part of I Can Do, like we have all of those who know, we have our I Can Do girl events, right? Which is my niece Malia, she's the I Can Do girl. She has her own collection, right, with our brand. And so I have two events annually for them, which is the I Can Do Girl Sip and Paint Party, which is where they do paintings, and we have lemonade from Pucker Up Lemonade out here in Compton. And so we also have the vision board party. So these girls did their vision boards last year. And so we were watching them, and the vision board party, it's pretty intimate, no more than 6 girls, and I'm intentional about doing that. So last year they had the vision board party, and I'm watching them, I'm like, I've done a vision board. I wasn't as
Yes.
focused,
Oh
and
my
ready
God.
as them. I'm like, oh my, and I remember my sister was here with us when we were doing the vision board. We're thinking we're here because they're going to need help. They did not need our help. When I tell you these girls have goals, they are forward thinking, they are driven. And I'm like, oh my
Right.
gosh, like, look at this. So watching me, I've known them all since they were born, right? It just so happened that they all graduated this
Yes.
year. So that's what made this not just the 5th anniversary, but special. But that's
Yeah.
also that was really special to my heart as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching them grow.
Girl.
And I just know I see so much for them. They're genuinely kind young ladies. They
Yes.
are genuinely kind young ladies. And so what was also important to me was to bring back scholarship recipients from prior years, right? So I had that idea first. I'm like, okay, my niece Kayla, she was a 2024 scholarship recipient. She's currently at Southern University. So I'm like, okay, Kayla, I want you to come back and kind of speak, into them because you've completed your freshman year. So just kind of share, and experience some key advice with them that will help because they're going into freshman year. So just anything that that would help them, right? And the bonus was that she knows them, so it was easy. So that was one thing that was added this year. And then as well, I have one of my cousin, her name is Kayla as well. She just graduated, so she's a college graduate. She just graduated in June from University of California, Riverside. So I also had her come back and come and speak, as a college graduate. So I think that was very, again, I was intentional because every year I think, what can I add? Because my main thing is those girls. So I'm like, okay, what can I add? So those are the two things that I added this year. And I think it turned out great because I believe that those girls received, what they had to say. And then we also, of course, we had another special scholarship this year that was donated, which is my cousin Richie Lewis. His wife is my cousin Rita Lewis. She's been supporting I Can Do from day one. Let's put that out there. First of all, from day one has been supporting I Can Do, always, looking for ways to help or whatever. So Richie, her husband passed. He's an attorney. He passed, and she wanted to give a scholarship to a student who was majoring in, law, pre-law, something to do with law. And so I'm like, oh, we don't have any from this year, but I had some from prior years. So she's like, okay, reach out. She's like, I want to donate a scholarship. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I immediately get off the phone with her, email the ones that I knew were majoring in law. And so they submitted everything to her, and she, picked the one that was the best fit. And of course, presented that scholarship. So that was something new to have that law scholarship presented this year. And the fact she announced that that's going to be every year, she's going to present this scholarship. So I think that was a beautiful blessing. And here's why. Because one part of the mission of I Can Do is not to just give these girls scholarships, but to be that space and resource for them, right? I call it I Can Do the connector, because every year at our conference connections are made, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I love that we are that connector. So what was special about that law scholarship is that, now, so the Trinity Cox, she was a recipient. She was our 2023 scholarship recipient. So she was the one who was awarded that scholarship. So because she's a pre-law major. So what's so special about that is this is like a new relationship that is formed between Trinity and the scholarship donors, which are my cousins, who are attorneys, right, as well. So they've agreed to, like, hey, we're gonna walk with her through her collegiate journey and on, and get her, started on her career path and be that resource for her. So that, I think that was,
mentorship,
when I tell you that solidified, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's necessary for these girls to have mentorship and have real tangible examples of what the next steps are in these careers. So to have another Black female attorney to mirror, to learn from, to glean from, to help her through these processes is what you say, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
because that's what you need. That's a goal in I Can Do, is to be able to, after they graduate and move forward from being an I
Yeah.
Can Do girl, and they go in to womanhood and their next, gleaning with them on that level as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pouring into them on that level as well, and being a resource, like you said, for them to have a connection that can be lifelong, and open up so many other doors and other opportunities for them,
Yeah.
and still having I Can Do as a backing.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely phenomenal to that award. Another was another thing that was like a highlight of the
Yeah.
night, of just so much of the giving back, and to hear that a young lady in pre-law was able to get that.
Yeah.
So
And
it
and
was
and
phenomenal.
she's another one. Trinity is another one that is so driven. Like
Yeah.
when I tell you her resume is already full, like
Right.
once she graduates from college, she can just hand
Right.
it up. She didn't have to add anything
Just
else. Like
handed it
her,
right. Yes.
oh my gosh. Like
Nice.
these, so we have been blessed. I for me, that's even though, people look at it as we're blessing them, but they're blessing the organization.
Oh
You know what I
yes.
mean? Like that's what counts. Like that's
Yes.
what matters for me. That's what matters for me.
They were the girls were the highlight of the night for me. I
Yeah.
was like, I gotta talk to the stars of the event. I did
Yeah.
not leave there without, talking to those girls and being able to just hear from them about their story, and their next, how excited they are, and
Mhm.
like you said, how ready, they
Yeah.
are ready to go into this next chapter. It was
Yeah.
so beautiful because, like you said, all that you do, everything, every donor, every dollar, all the things, every, vision board party. And
Mhm.
I know how it is to be able to see your babies grow,
Mm.
as here in Philly with my mentees, seeing them grow probably is the best part of being their
Oh yeah.
mentor.
Yeah.
Seeing them go from thing to thing and level to level in life, from starting out with them when they were 11. It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful journey. So
Yeah.
I already know that it hits a little different when prom comes and college is here, and you're like, you were just 12
Yeah.
and it's happening. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, it was an awesome, awesome, phenomenal afternoon. Like, this conference, it was one for the books.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh
give
yeah. This was definitely one. Yeah, this is at the top. This
Yes,
is at the top.
this was one for
I'm
the
like, oh
books.
my gosh. Yeah, this was really, and then we, our ribbon. So Brittany Nicole, she helps me plan, every year she helps me plan it out. And so I'm like, I want to do something to celebrate, the 5-year anniversary. She's like, oh, let's do a ribbon cutting. And I'm like a ribbon cutting for a grand opening? And then I started thinking, wait, you're right. A ribbon cutting, like we're stepping into this 5th year. You know what I mean? So that was like, in as we were planning it, I didn't get to, I was like, okay, we're doing a ribbon cutting. But in the moment, it was like, oh my gosh, that's when it hit me. Like it's really been 5 years, and God has blessed us to be able to enter, this 5th year. And I felt so good, like something great is coming. You know what I mean? That was the
Listen.
feeling. It like it wasn't the end. It was like this is the beginning of something
Yes,
greater. You know
yes.
what I mean? That was the feeling that I had when my mom and I, we, cut the ribbon. And I just love how Ayana, she was, a part of that, because I told her, I'm like, okay, we have to do the ribbon cutting. She's like, you don't worry about that. You're cutting the ribbon. I want to facilitate that part. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yes.
So just having her to, and every year, not every, but last year was Ayana's first year coming.
Yeah.
And when she comes, she literally, so she's there to host the conference. When I
Right.
tell you she's all in,
Right.
she is all in. She
The
like
best. Yeah.
she's the host, but she moderates the panel. She's
Yes.
like, however you, and every time she tells me,
She's
however
the
you need me
glue.
to serve.
Yes.
However you need me to serve. And when I tell you she is a true servant, and
Yeah.
I remember you saying that she has this anointing on
Yeah.
her, and she does.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, we all have gifts. But you can truly tell when somebody is graced in their gift.
Yeah.
And it just comes naturally to them. It's not something that they've learned and just learned. It's a thing that they've mastered over time. It's who they've always been. It
Mm-hmm.
bleeds in. Even when you have a normal conversation with Ayana, you
Yeah.
see the anointing
Oh
of
yeah.
the host on her.
Yep.
The way that she has with words in just
Oh
conversation
my gosh. Yeah.
is phenomenal, and you see it in her craft. You see
Yeah.
it when she hosts. So it is who she is.
It's who she is.
And I'm big on talking about living your brand,
Mm.
and not
Mm.
just marketing your brand or whatever
Come
it is,
on.
but living it.
Mm-hmm.
People shouldn't be surprised after they conversate with me, and then I tell them I have a female empowerment brand and that I'm a speaker and all of these things. Then they're like,
Right.
I see that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, because of how it comes out of me naturally to encourage, to empower, and having the language to put
Mm.
to perspective. I'm
Yeah.
a perspective shifter.
Yeah.
So that's natural, and it's an anointing. That's something that she has in
Yeah.
hosting. And I'm big on that anyway, helping people figure out how they stand out. And that's something that she does, that she stands out amongst the
Mm.
hosts and people who host. She is major to book because you will not regret it.
Listen.
Your audience will love her. She is not just somebody that's getting up
Guaranteed.
there announcing who's next. No, she
Right.
is not hosting like that. It is literally her hosting your event, taking your vision and gluing it together throughout the evening or throughout
Throughout.
throughout
Yeah.
the whole event. She's gluing every part together and without any prompting. Like,
No.
literally, she doesn't need a whole lot. If you
No.
tell her, hey, this is my theme, this is what she brings
Yep.
it together to make
Yep.
it make sense.
Yeah.
She's your glue, and you be like, "Who? I'm glad I paid." She makes you understand why you need a host.
Yeah. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
makes you understand why you need a host,
Yeah.
because she really does take some things off of you, because you don't have to. She so eloquently will drive in your next point from point to point, point to
Yep.
point. Because, like you said, she set the stage for your ribbon cutting so that it
Yeah.
all could make sense
Yeah.
to the audience of what exactly this meant.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't going to let it go by without letting us know what this means.
Yeah.
So strategic. It was chef's kiss. Because that is true for me. The ribbon cutting was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Because of just her setting that atmosphere of, this is a legacy. Let me
Yeah.
tell you why this is a
Yeah.
legacy up here, and how I need everybody. I need
Mm-hmm.
mom. I need everybody, because
Yeah.
you guys do I can do as a family unit, really.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
it might be your assignment, everybody is hands on. Everybody has a part to play. Like you said, even if it's just your son, you're calling him in your room 5 to 10 times just to help you with a vision or something or
Yep.
plan. It is a family thing. And
Yeah.
your servantship, you glean that from your parents. You
Yeah.
glean that from your father, who also passed that down throughout your generations, who stood on
Yeah.
that stage with you, down to
Yeah.
your grandson. Just of serving,
Yeah.
picking up something in the room, being a part of it,
Yep.
is what you guys were raised to do. So that's why it's like, these 5 years wouldn't have happened without my father, without her father, without her mother, her whole family. So she made
Mm-hmm.
it come together. And you didn't have to tell her any of that. She
No.
kind of
Yeah.
does. And she made it all come together for all of us in the audience to also understand the full scope of what was happening, and why
Yeah.
this 5 years was so super duper special.
Yeah.
And it made us all excited. That is an anointing that she's able to get you to lock into and buy into the vision, not
Yeah.
just the host. She's really a glue that you
Yeah.
kind of need to bring your vision into a room, bring it all together, make it all make sense. And the impact is so much higher because
Yeah.
of her anointing.
It
So
is.
that's what I meant. Like, everybody it all just gelled so perfect.
It all.
It
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
did. Everything
And
clicked.
she's involved, like, even with the planning of it.
Yes.
Her and I are on the phone a lot. She,
Right.
like, I'll mention, an idea, and she talks it out with me, just, with the men of the movement. I wanted,
Yes.
was trying to figure out a way to honor the men, because a lot of times, if it's a women's organization, you don't see a lot of men that get
Right. And you
behind it.
think they have nothing to do with it, or
And you
they,
think
yeah.
right. So I wanted to hide, because a lot of times, like, I don't want to say a lot of times the men don't get behind it. You don't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you
they
won't
may
see
be
them.
working behind the scenes, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted to bring them to the forefront, so we honored the Burnell Sawyer Sr. is my dad, my late father. He passed on September 29, 2024. So we honored the men of the movement. This is our first time doing this. We'll do this annually, but we awarded the Men of the Movement Award in his name and in his honor. And it's a service award. My dad was a servant to the core. If you want to know who my dad was, he was a servant, a man of God, and he was a servant. So I wanted to honor the three men, which is my husband, Robbie Cobb, my son, Rashad Cobb, and my nephew, Malik White, because from day one, I didn't even have to ask what needs to be done. It's like, okay, hey, come on, let me help you with this. Or did you do this? You got this event coming up. Do you need this done, or do you need this done? They work hard behind. But my son Rashad and my nephew Malik, they're, like my production team. They're I Can Do Media. We've become I Can Do Media and Production with the podcast. And when I tell you, I don't when we do our in-person interviews, we're in the studio. I am the host. Like, I don't worry about anything. I go in there, I get there, I go in the green room, I get my makeup done, I put on my outfit, and I come sit down and host. My guests are already settled in. They're the first piece of people, my guests meet. And they're like that with all my, we have several events throughout the year. The conference is just the biggest one. We have a pop-up shop, same thing. They're all in,
Moving
they're
around.
working
Yeah.
behind the scenes. My husband has, he does a lot,
Yeah.
labor's work, behind the
Right.
scenes. And just, he's like my biggest champion. Like, he is my
As
cheerleader.
he should
So
be.
exactly. So I'm
Yes.
I'm bouncing ideas off. Well, I come up with a bright idea, and he'll be downstairs. I'll run downstairs, or I'll lean
Yeah.
over the banister and tell him this idea. He's like, okay, that sounds good. And then he also, if I'm like just jumping too far, he's like, wait a minute, slow down. Let's
Right.
let's think. Like,
Grounding as
yeah, you get
well.
too
That is
excited.
work.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he keeps me balanced in that way. But those three, when I tell you, and it is because of the influence of my father.
Yeah.
My dad had a great influence on all of his grandchildren, and in particular the grandsons.
Yeah.
My dad, and I always tell we tell people this about my dad. He was hands-on, like up until the day he took his last breath. Even though we're adults, my dad was hands-on. He was a hands-on dad. And so he was that, for our kids. I'm watching them, Malik and Rashad, serve, and they have so many like mannerisms like my dad and everything, right?
Yes.
So when I'm watching them working, I'm watching them and I'm like, wow, that's my dad. That's it.
Wow.
I see like
His
his
spirit in
influence.
them.
It's all
Yeah.
him. It's all him. And so same thing with my husband. He's, been since my husband and I, we met in 1991, and my dad became his dad, right?
Right.
And so he had a heavy impact in their lives. And it's like to sit back and watch them, emulate him. And it's like, wow. So I had to, because I think we should let it be seen and known that our Black men are supporting us. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do.
They
Yeah.
are pushing the movement forward. So they are three examples of men
Yeah.
of the movement who are really
Yes.
and truly serving and pushing the movement. So
And it was
that was
beautiful.
that was the highlight for me. That was just
Yes.
special. And it
Because
was
it's
a way
true.
to keep my dad's memory alive. It was a way
Yes.
to have my dad there. So that was just that was everything for me.
It was so beautiful because it's true. We do have our men that do get behind us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just women always showing up to be back a man's play, but we have
Yeah.
some men who see the oil on a woman as and shows up to say, "How can I serve you?"
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
So like you said, and you don't want that to go unnoticed.
Yeah.
And like you said, because it is something that is gleaned and is an extension of the spirit of your father, you could
Yeah.
see that though. Like you could see the extension of
Yeah.
who he
Totally.
was through them, and like you said, just how they moved about the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. So many things. Like I said, it was one of those things there where I was full. And it wasn't just, back to business afterwards. And just seeing it in that way, it felt different. It
Yeah.
definitely felt different. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful for this experience. Like I said, I'm excited to come back. Like I said, when me and Rochelle talked after, just about how to, I'm just like, how can I get involved? How can I
Yeah.
stay, involved? Make sure that I can sponsor something, send something for the girls, because it really is one of those things. It's a gym that it's doing the life with these girls, doing
Yeah.
life, and the honoring of everybody who is a part of those things. The grateful heart that you had to honor everyone in the room, from not just us, the panelists. You honored everybody
Yeah.
in the room, everybody who you constantly shouted out, those who had been with you in this 5 years,
Yeah.
who have been at every event. You could see the gratefulness of just, you really take serious into heart and value, Rochelle, people walking with you on a
Oh
journey,
yeah. Yeah.
and as well as how even the way that you do business, it is truly genuine relationship that you build.
Yeah.
You're interested in who you bring around, who you bring in a room, interested in their person first and not so much their gifting.
There you go.
And then
Yep.
it bleeds together that way. And like I said, when we talked, you got to keep being you and walking in that anointing, because that's what makes you so different. It's because you are interested in us. You were
Yeah.
interested in us as women. Me as T. Christine, Nikki as Nikki for
Yeah.
Nikki.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Andrea. Same thing with her, like just interested in her as a woman and
Yeah.
our stories, and
Yeah.
how that makes us who we are in business, how that
Yeah.
makes us who we are in our purpose. Because usually it's the other way around. People are interested in our giftings, and not so
Right.
much the woman behind it and
Your
how we
story.
got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
How we got there. Especially for me on my platform, I'm constantly talking about how I became this pillar of strength that you see, this pillar
Yeah.
of wisdom that you see. It isn't because of I had a pillow soft life or whatever the case may be, or I was put,
Yeah.
it's because I choose certain things now, from a place of power, because I have been in
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
And if I can help somebody else skip certain things and certain steps, I do. But I'm not the kind of person that tells you that self-care is pretty and it's baths and it's all of these
Right.
things. So that's where I go as far as difference between me and other people, is that I do tell you that it is hard
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that you have a choice to make.
Yeah.
You have to choose which hard you want, because there's only an
Mm.
illusion. Easy is an illusion, and I do
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about that
Yeah.
I talk about that a little bit in my book that is to come this fall. Like, it is not easy as an illusion. You have to choose your heart,
Mm.
because
That's powerful.
seriously, the heart of
Choose
doing
your heart.
things your way,
Hmm.
all of those things. The heart of trying it out the way that you want. That heart forces you to be bound to doing things the way that someone else tells you to do it in life. It forces you
Yeah.
to do it the way, to follow the rules of the culture or whatever the case may be, in order to obtain a certain things in life.
Yeah.
It's that hard, or it is going to be the heart of saying yes to you and your purpose and who God called you to be. At the end of the day, one has a promise attached to it, though.
Mm.
One has a promise attached to it, and that is guaranteed. And then the other is risky business. It's plain Russian roulette. To me, I'm at that juncture. I can tell somebody like truly, there is no other life to choose other than the life you were called to live.
Come
You're
on.
not going to ever be happy. No amount of money. A lot of times we think happiness is in a destination. I'll
Yeah.
be happy when I have the baby. I'll be happy
Yep.
when I get the husband. I'll be happy
Yeah.
when I have the career. And then you'll meet people with the life that you say you want, and you
Yeah.
see how maybe unhappy they are, or they'll tell you that it's not my career or my husband or my kids that fulfill me. What fulfills me is I can do
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Purpose living is the only thing that will be like the air that you breathe, even though
Yeah.
these walks are not easy either. They have their moments where it is hard, but it is still the thing you get up and do for free every day
Right.
because it is the
Right.
thing that you are really wired and created to do.
Right.
Like for
Right.
me, Ayana asked me, like, what is, out of all the things you do, what's the thing you love the most? And I was like, this. I said,
Yeah.
what I did today is if I had a calendar full of speaking engagements like that all year, that I would be happy doing that.
Yeah.
I love it from my process on. I love
Mm.
meeting new people, going in the rooms and just loving on the people in the room, being able to love somebody new. All of that makes me excited because
Yeah.
I am graced for that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get tired. You don't get tired of the thing that you are graced for.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
You will get
Yeah.
tired in the navigation. You will get tired in the plowing. You will
Right.
get
Right.
tired in the building. But it is that the promise of it, the oil of
Mm.
that, that will keep you going.
Yeah.
Like I said, the other hearts that you choose come with a guaranteed crash and burn.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed crash and burn.
Mm-hmm.
It is plain Russian roulette with your life. Purpose life is truly the only life to live. That's why the pursuit of that, even
Yeah.
when you don't know what it is, it's worth it to pursue who God called
Mm-hmm.
you to be. We
Yeah.
pursue everything else. We pursue
Um,
temporary. Yes, we pursue a temporary fix. We pursue a
yeah.
temporary relief all the time,
Yeah.
and it's literally temporary.
And
So
we'll chase it. We'll chase it.
we chase the
But won't
temporary
chase
healing.
purpose.
It's going nowhere, and that's the chaos of it. Like when you are in chaos of not truly knowing who you are. That's what I'm saying. Self-awareness is key. My life
Mm-hmm.
changed when I realized who I was.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
right there was the catalyst for making stronger decisions, for being more relationally intelligent, and
Mm-hmm.
being more careful, being more prudent, being more discerning. But I had to really get in agreement with who God said I was. If
Mm.
I didn't get an agreement with that, I wouldn't be where I
Yeah.
am today. I would, like I shared, I'd be in jail, or I'd be the next statistic
Mm-hmm.
of some sort,
Yeah.
because that's the path that I was going in.
Yeah.
But being in the chaos of culture, in the ways in which culture says to fix things,
Mm-hmm.
we have to truly be able to take that energy and turn it into ourselves, really, because that is self-care, is being able to sit with yourself
Yeah.
and
And
really
you know
deal
what?
with it.
I can't remember if it was you or Andrea that said being restored is knowing who you are.
Yes, her. Yes.
Andrea
You
said
got it.
that, right?
Yes. Andrea said that. And then she hit it on the nose.
She hit it on and it was so powerful. Like she didn't even have to say anything else. It was so powerful. You know what I mean? When
Yes.
she said it, it's simply knowing who
Mhm.
you
It's the
are.
catalyst to everything else, because you will rest according to that knowing. You will
Mm,
fight according to that knowing.
yeah.
That's what I mean when I talk about moving from your power and not your pain. Your
Yeah.
power is what your knowing is.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
pain is the impulsivity, the irrationality, and the temperamentalness that we feel when we're in our flesh and feelings. We're
Yeah.
going to have them.
Right.
But when we make decisions, our feelings should not run management. They do not make
Mm,
decisions. They don't make decisions. That's not what they're here for. They're here as alerts and all of those
mm,
things. Our feelings play a portion. We made up of them. God gave them to us for a reason. So we
right.
do need to feel them. We do need to acknowledge them, but they never supposed to make any decisions.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
supposed to make decisions. You make decisions from your knowing.
Mm,
That's what you make decisions from. You don't make decisions from how you feel, what you know. And like
yeah.
I always take it a step further. What I know is whatever the Bible says for me
Come on.
personally. I go
Listen.
against, what I have to go against my flesh and what I feel to what does the Bible say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because that's what I know. And
yeah,
moving from knowing that is how I move from my power.
yeah.
Because if I move away from that, my flesh is going to make a decision that is
It'll take
most
over.
likely going to be, most likely is going to be full of myself and
Yeah.
all of the
Hmm.
things. And then
Hmm.
that dying to yourself, taking up your mantle of who you're called to be is a daily thing. Give
Yeah,
us this day our daily bread, because every
yeah,
day has its own stuff that it comes
yeah,
with.
yeah,
So you need bread for each and every day, new
yeah.
bread for every day that is presented to you. So that's why it was so powerful when she said it, and we kind of all like drove it home, because that is
Yeah,
the catalyst of restoration. Period. How you
yeah.
rest, because that statement bled into the next question, and I brought it
It
home with
did.
how you rest. How you rest, the
Yeah,
rhythm of how you rest
yeah.
determines.
I was
What you
gonna
know
say
about
that.
yourself.
Yeah,
What
I
do
was
you
gonna
know
say
about you?
that's yeah, that statement is what set it off. That like
Yes,
after
it's
she
a
said that, it just like the stage blew up.
yes. Because
I was
that was the
sitting there
one.
like,
We
wow,
stayed
this,
there. And that, yes, we had to
oh my
park
gosh.
there because that was the catalyst. And Ayana just was like, yes, let's just park there since the conversation is going there, because
Yes.
it was annoying. And that, like you said, it was so powerful because it set the stage for us all, each three of us, to talk about those moments, specific moments in our
Mm-hmm.
testimony of where
Mm-hmm.
we had to make a decision from our knowing of ourselves,
Yeah, yeah.
knowing who we are as the conduit, as the challenger,
Challenger.
as the one that was is chosen,
Chosen. Yeah.
the knowing place for versus our feelings, because
Yeah.
Nikki talked about, like, in the moment I felt like I didn't know if I was going to walk or I was going to even live. you
Yeah.
know Andrea talked about her feelings in the moment with her son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
talked about my feelings in the moment when I blew up my life, blew up
Yeah.
something that I loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those moments where we had to make a choice up from our knowing of who we are, what we
Yeah.
believe, versus the moment, the circumstance, because those circumstances told us that it was the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of them. So it brought
All of
it
them.
all together. Every circumstance, we're all three different women, but here we are all in the same boat of being at a
Same.
crossroads, of
Yeah.
choosing from to be restored and move from the restored version of ourselves or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really have
Yeah.
a choice to make, and that's a daily choice. That's
Yeah.
why I said it has to be a rhythm of how you rest.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be according to who you know you already are, knowing
Mm-hmm.
yourself enough to know what rest needs to look like for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you know yourself, it's easy for you to do it without apology. It's
Yeah.
easy for you to take time, learn how to say no, and govern your no very well. Just as well as you govern your yes. You have to govern your no just as well as you govern your yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your
Yeah.
no is yours as well. Your no belongs to you. A lot of
Yeah.
times we think that we can't give that answer. That's a full sentence.
Yeah.
Just no, I'm not doing
No.
it. I don't feel like it. No.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna make up some excuse because I want you to feel better about my no. It's just
Right.
my no. How you feel about my no is none of my business. I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole thinking
Had
about
nothing to do with me.
how you feel about my no.
Yeah.
This I got to deal with my own feelings. I have to say no. I'm
Yeah.
not going to own your feelings, because again, we are women who can do. and,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
again, living a life of can do is a posture,
Yeah. Oh, come on.
because you can do all things through Christ. You truly can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
all things, but that is according to the call that is on your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
all and my all looks different.
Yeah.
So having to respect that
Mm.
our alls look different.
Yeah.
Our
Ooh, I'm
alls
glad you
look
said that. That's
different.
powerful.
And
Yeah.
as iron sharpens iron, I need to give you room to
Yeah.
rest in your all as I rest in my all, room to work in your all as I work in my all.
Yeah.
And when we can oil one another and glean from one another, we should, because
Mm.
that gives God glory.
Yeah.
This thing is simpler than what we make it.
It is. It really is.
It's so much simpler than what we make it,
Yeah.
because a lot of it is the roots of control and so many things, trauma and pain. That's what this podcast is so lovely for as well, because it's a space to kind of talk about, have the conversations that we need to have, so we can at least put it on the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
That sometimes we're dealing with those
Yeah.
spirits of control. We're dealing with the spirit of ego
Yeah.
and all of these things, and we're not giving people space to feel. And it's only okay for you to feel when it's okay with me. If I'm okay with your feelings and all those
Yeah.
things, instead of being, having respect for the call on each other's lives
Right. Yeah.
and giving each other room. If I can't serve your calling in this season because I'm in a season, knowing that the love is still there, and knowing
Yeah.
how to navigate season from season.
Yeah.
Because that's why the panel was so powerful, you guys. You guys cannot miss next year, because just the way Ayana brought it all together with the conduit season, the challenger season, and the chosen season, and how
Mm.
we
Oh,
navigate
that was.
through the when we navigate through those three,
Yeah.
and women were in a room, were able to kind of think on it, like, which season are you in? Who are
Yeah.
you in this season? Are you the conduit in this season? Are you being challenged in this season? Are you being chosen to
Mm.
stand up and carry the mantle? Because it's just, you don't have a choice, it's yours.
Yeah.
Those you don't have a choice moments. It was so phenomenal. Like, the conversation bled together so well.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think it was like it was 6 questions prepared, you guys, but
Yeah.
we kind of bled through there, and it was a conversation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was truly a conversation
And,
that fed off of one another.
yeah.
So
And I'm gonna tell you, I love that it was that.
yes.
Because one thing about the show, and I always tell, like, some guests, so ask, what type of show was it? I said, I'm gonna tell you this. I said, my show is conversational. It's
Mhm.
not, don't overthink anything.
Yes.
I'll send you some points that I'm gonna talk about, but it's going to flow.
So,
I don't want to be that where I'm sitting here asking you questions, you answer. It's conversational. So every question, you may not even get to every question.
right.
We're just gonna flow. And so I love that the conference was that way as well, because that's important to me, because I'm intentional
Yes.
about formatting the show that way. So I
Yes.
loved that the conference, that discussion panel was just that.
That.
I had even forgot, like, what were the questions. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It was like,
Right. And yes, after a while, Ayana just like put the phone down, put the questions
put
down.
it
It was like,
down and
let's
cross
park
her
there.
legs
Be
and
like,
leaned
and
in.
yes, let's park there, because when Andrea said being restored is literally being self-aware, it was so loaded that we had to park there so we can
You
pull
had to
from that.
park.
Like,
You
let's
had to
park
park.
there, because that
Yeah.
is truly the catalyst of what we're all about to talk about for all of the rest of the questions. That is going to be the root. That's going to
Yeah.
be it. If you don't know who you are, let's park there.
Yeah.
And it was a really good door for us to open up a little bit about who we are and our testimonies as each
Mm-hmm.
woman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because self-awareness is also, it's not something that you wake up with if you don't have the right home setting or two parents that kind of confirm who you are from birth.
Yeah.
And a
There
lot
you
of us
go.
as
Yeah.
Black and brown people don't
Mm-hmm.
grow up with those types of parents who
Yeah.
confirm us and affirm us early on. So we do have to go through the woes of life to figure that out. And
Mm-hmm.
some people never do. If they
Yep.
never get in the right community, if they never have the right moment in their life where they do choose, make the choice to do the right hard, the hard that is difficult, which is that first step of change. Because change
Yeah.
is presented to us, but it's some of us choose it and some of us say it's too hard to
Yeah.
be different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we continue to do the things that keep us in these cycles, because it is challenging. That's why I celebrate women like I do, us. I love coming in a room full of us, Rochelle's,
Yeah.
Ayana's, because we are doing something that we don't celebrate enough, which is we have chosen the heart of purpose. We
Yeah.
choose every day to get up from our other life, our life where we could all mind our business and
Mm-hmm.
focus on ourselves. And we choose to give up ourselves. We choose to get completely transparent, give
Yeah.
up ourselves, get naked really in front of audiences of people and give up ourselves.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not easy to do.
Yeah.
these things, even as we take on business, networking and building the proper aligned relationships.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're talking about now intentionality. Myself as an intentional woman, Rochelle as an intentional woman, have to strategically build relationships because we want to build aligned relationships.
Right.
Because it's one thing to want to just build business relationships. That's a
Listen.
little bit easier because all you have to do is show up in your niche.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody stays in their niche.
Mm-hmm.
You talk budgets. What can you bring? What can I bring? And it's very black and white. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very black and
Mm-hmm.
white. But when you're building something that you want to be built on a different kind of foundation,
Yeah.
you really do have to now be even more strategic, and you are having to utilize your discernment, utilize the word no, because
Yep.
every room, every relationship isn't for you in your
Yeah.
business when you
Yeah.
are looking for specific intentional relationships for your business.
Yeah.
So that's us showing up to do that for ourselves. And then when we gather, something magical happens when we gather because
Yeah.
we are doing that in our secret places,
Yeah.
and then showing up to do it. So when we get together, something magical happens because we see each other without even speaking. We just like,
Yeah. That's
I
it.
see
Yeah.
you. That
Yeah.
I see you is real. We know
Yeah.
what's going on, in which it does. It makes it easy, like you said, for Ayana to call you and say, hey, and talk some things out with you or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
because she gets it. She
Yeah.
just gets it.
She
We
gets
just
it.
get each other. We
Yeah.
don't. It's no conversation that has to be had. You don't have to sell it to us. We're kind of just like, what do you need? How are you
Yeah.
feeling? What is it? Well, and we'll walk it out with you because that's that for us. We know what we're doing. We know that it's really purpose. It's purpose. It has to happen. We're supposed to do this, and we have a mindset. We don't gatekeep. Our mindset is we gonna see each other
Mm.
at the top. We will see
That's
each
it.
other at the top.
We're gonna see each other at the top.
It doesn't. It takes nothing from me, and even with Britt,
Exactly.
she's the
Exactly.
same way. I don't know, about what other people, PR people do, but Britt will look out for you
Listen.
on the back end. You can pay her one thing, but pay her or not, she looks out for you
Yeah.
regardless.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
she already knows she gonna see you at the top. She ain't gotta
Yeah.
even be greedy. She ain't gotta, cause she already know what's hers is hers. And if you know her, she
Exactly.
grinds. She ain't gotta do none of that. So,
Yes.
and us having a community of women who are like minded in that way, it is necessary. I was just telling somebody else that you do when you are somebody who is a builder and somebody who is called to go first in whatever your lane is. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have a community of other people who just get
You
it,
do.
who are
You do.
also walking in their purpose, because it's different talking to people who have not found who they are yet, who don't know who
Yep.
they are yet,
Yep.
because they will think that what we're doing doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why are
Yeah.
we taking from our own homes? Why do we come out our own pockets? Why do we do all of these, commit all these hours? They would not understand. But
Yeah.
us, we just like, what you need? I'll donate a
Exactly.
microphone. I'll donate a
Right.
camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we get it. We
Yeah.
get that these things is necessary for the dream, and the dream
Yep.
is bigger than the vision God gave
It's
you. We already know because we're walking in our own vision that He gave us. So we don't
exactly.
even gotta. We just see each other. We just like,
Yeah.
girlfriend, what you need.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I might know somebody.
Right.
And it's necessary
Yeah. Yeah.
for us to have that kind of community. That's why it's something different happens when you get a bunch of women in the room who are intentional about the visions that God gave them for their lives.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what made the I Can Do fifth year conference so super duper special,
Yeah.
is because literally, for the audience, every last one of us as panelists, and Ayana as well, we are an extension of the purposeful woman that you are, Rochelle. That's what makes it so unique and so important.
Yeah.
That's why it's just like, I have to give you your flowers, because truly, in your business, everything that you touch is always going to be an extension of who you are. It
Yeah.
speaks volumes to who you are, because every woman on the panel was a woman in her own right, but also
Mm-hmm.
a woman that other women glean from, because that's the
Mm-hmm.
kind of woman that you are. That's the kind of woman that you are. So it was necessary for things to come together the way that they did, and
Yeah.
why God made it for you to just have all the people, the places, the parts that you needed.
When I tell you, it was not, and I said this that day, this was not stressful. The planning
No.
was not stressful. And
Yes.
again, major shout out to Brittany Nicole. And
Woo!
anybody who knows me knows this. I give credit where
Where
credit
is
is due.
due?
I love
Yes.
pushing other people forward. I love celebrating
Yes.
others, especially women and girls.
Yes.
And so she, because of her hands in this, it has been since I met her.
Yeah.
It's been less stress. I haven't had any stress.
Yeah. She's gonna
And
do the thing. She's gonna look
she's
out.
gonna, and she is a connector as well. She's a
Yes.
connector, right? So I thank God for her, because I wouldn't know you all if it wasn't for her. I wouldn't know you and Ayana
Yeah.
and Nikki if it wasn't for her. So
And she's
I
intentional about it too. Like who she brought to you. She was intentional about it.
oh
Like,
my
oh
gosh.
no, I know that this particular person will be
Yes.
good for you. Like you said, it's
Yes.
good to have somebody who knows you, sees you, and is able to be on your behalf in a room like this could be good for Rochelle. That's
Yeah.
how women are
Yeah.
supposed to be with each other.
Yeah.
That's how we're
Yeah.
supposed to be with each
It's
other.
a beauty, and when I tell you it's a like I feel so loved. Like each
Yes.
person that in her sisterhood that she has, like you all have welcomed me in. You know what I mean? Like it's when
Yeah.
I tell you I feel the love, I feel and it's genuine. I feel so
Yeah.
loved and supported and celebrated. Like I just can't even explain. But I thank God for her. I thank
Yeah.
God for you all as well, receiving me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, and you're right, she knows it, and it's all about, I know it's God, she's gifted for it. It's God,
Oh,
you
she's
know,
great. Yeah.
using her as that vessel to align, right?
Yes.
And to align and connect. So she knows the right people
To
to
connect to
to put
who?
together to,
Yes, it's
oh
a
my
gift.
gosh. Yeah.
Because again, she has a large network, but even if you're not in the room, she's thinking about your project
Yep.
already. Like,
Yep.
okay, Rochelle has this coming up. This person will be perfect for her room.
Yeah. Oh
All of
yeah.
those things. And that's again, that's what I love so much about networking because we have this thing where we get it and we have a connection and
Yeah.
we are women walking in purpose. And it's like if I see something that I know could be for my sister,
Yeah.
I'm gonna push it. And
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
said, we do that naturally. We don't gatekeep that love.
Yeah.
That is an extension of love.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
love you, what you do, I see you. I'm looking like that. And like you said,
Yeah.
we walk in our graces because that is a grace that she has,
Yeah.
to know who to pair with who. And
Yeah.
like, oh, you know what? I think I'll connect these women. They're kind of doing some of the same things. They're similar in
Mhm.
nature. And she's
Yeah.
another one who also is very much so discerning in
Yeah.
looking at the whole woman and not
Mhm.
just your gift. But
Yeah.
what is it about you
She
that
is
makes
good.
you
Yeah.
stand out? What is it about you as a woman? So
Yeah.
she can do what she does in PR, which is connect,
Yeah.
align,
Yeah.
YouTube stuff according to your brand. She's
Yeah.
phenomenal at it, great
Phenomenal.
for it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's not the same. Like I said, for her, people like her and Ayana who do something, us, we do similar things. We are in an industry. So there's a
Yeah.
whole lot of people in our
Yeah.
industries, but no one is in our lane. So we don't
Mm.
compete with each other. There isn't any of
Yep.
that. Like you said,
Yep.
it has been nothing but love.
Love. Love.
Nothing but love. Like, and that was the thing in the room from everybody, from the guests to the
Yeah.
it just was a whole overwhelmingness
Yeah.
of love.
Yeah.
Love in the room, purpose in the room. It was exactly what you stand for at the core value. And like you said, it's a blessing to have a sister who helps you to be a vessel to coordinate such an afternoon where
Yeah.
everything was aligned to your brand
Yeah.
from every
Yeah.
person, everything aligned to your brand, and the fact that God gives you people who you can trust with the
Mhm.
vision He put on your life. Because again, we all of us, Moses needed Aaron. Like
Mhm.
everybody needs
Listen.
somebody, that is a destiny shaper, a
Yeah.
destiny. Those people who helped you in destiny, they hit different. Because
Yeah.
again, we're not people that's talking every day. We don't gossip. We're not none of those things. We're
Yeah.
literally always showing up with one another in service.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's everything we do is an act of service.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful here. Like you said, it feels good. It's not
It
stressful.
feels good.
It's
Yeah.
not stressful here.
Listen. I like it. I can't. That's the best way. It's just not. It feels free and it feels good and it feels genuine.
genuine,
It feels
and you don't
genuine.
have
See,
to.
one thing, God blessed me with a spirit. I always tell people I have a keen spirit of discernment. So I
Yeah,
know I pick up on stuff really quickly. I've
yeah,
always been blessed with. I remember as a kid, but and so it feels it is
yes.
genuine, and it
And that
feels
makes it,
free.
like you said, it makes it feel free.
Oh
You
my
don't have
gosh.
to you don't have to be stressed out about
Yeah,
none of the
yeah,
things when you're doing it God's way and being obedient to that. Because even like you said, when you said you pick your panelists according to who God tells you
yeah. Oh
to
yeah,
choose.
yeah.
Because that's true. You talk to a lot of people within the year, and that's why I had to highlight you as a vessel, because I was just like, she really is doing what God called her to do, because she could have chosen so many people, but
Mm-hmm.
from our conversation, God wrote my
Yep,
name and was able to use her.
yep,
But you see how that comes from her, you knowing who you are and being
yeah,
confident enough to listen to the Holy Spirit. Me being confident enough to go where God tells me to go. Because
yeah, yeah,
again, I said no to a lot of stuff this year. The
yeah,
answer is no.
yeah,
But this felt different. Like from the time I was so excited to go, I was just like,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
excited to get there. I can't wait to go. And it's been a long time. And I remember in my reflection, I was thinking, like, it's been a while since I've been this excited about an opportunity.
yeah.
Because I've been doing this, and you get in the rhythm of business, and you get in the rhythm of
Right,
things.
right. Yeah,
And as God was having me in these green pasture seasons of my life to rest a bit, this was different. I was
yeah,
like, this feels so good. I guess
yeah,
it did. It felt good. It just was not any pressure added
yeah,
to, like, even down to my preparation time. I'm just like, this, oh, the whole thing. Just
yeah,
everything felt easy to me.
yeah.
And that's all, again, a spirit that, when he says his yoke is easy. His yoke,
Mm,
the yoke
mm,
that he chose, it's always gonna come together like that.
yeah, yeah,
Cause that's what it did. It was just so God breathed. And I felt that same thing, the genuineness, the love of this, the freedom. It was
yeah.
no added pressure. And we literally, again, people probably wouldn't have known that we don't have these extensive relationships among us.
Right.
Because it just gelled.
It will.
It just went together, and it was just like a family. It was really like being, it had, like, guys, if for those of you watching, like, when I say it felt almost like being at the cookout, I loved it. Like,
Yeah,
I enjoyed the room. And I
yeah,
remember Ayana was also saying that when we talked, like, it's family, right? Like, the
yeah,
feeling, it's just so good. Like, just being in that room is not like other rooms when you're navigating business so much at the primary forefront. I felt like I could be me. I was loved for me.
mm-hmm.
Even down to us as the panelists, we didn't get on the stage first and say, name all of our things we do, our resume. We
Yeah,
literally all was introduced as our name, and we
yeah.
went from there.
Went from there.
And we got to know each other as the conversation went on. The audience got to know us as the
Yep.
conversation went on. It was perfect, guys. Like, y'all
Yeah.
got to tap in, because
Tap
it's
in,
only
people.
going
I'm
to,
telling you.
yes, it's going to go higher
Yeah.
next year. And it's just a room you want to be in, especially to the women who may be watching this who still haven't figured it out yet. Get
Yeah.
get in the room, get tapped into what I Can Do is doing. Because again, like Rochelle said, you never know. Your next mentor, the person, your next destiny carrier and destiny helper could be in the I Can Do room, could be in the I Can Do community. So tap in. That's where you can start if you need to
Yeah.
start somewhere, because purpose life is necessary. You have a calling the same as myself, the same as Rochelle.
Yep. And I got a treat for y'all, people. The conference, the video of the conference will be uploaded to this YouTube channel tomorrow. So you all get to experience what we
Yes.
all received, this power panel, the message of restored and ready. So again, it will be uploaded tomorrow. The video of the conference will be uploaded tomorrow. So you can have a sneak peek, so you'll be ready
Yes.
for next year, because I'm telling you, every year it levels up.
Gonna go
So
up.
this year is going to wow you. So just
Yeah.
imagine, waiting for next year's conference. So I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. I want to thank you to my Philly sister, Miss T. Christine, for jumping on with me. I'm like, I told Britt, I
Definitely.
said, I want Miss T. Christine on here so we can do
Yeah.
a recap of this. I want to do a special show today. And I chose you to do that recap because we had already kind of started kind of talking about it.
Right.
And I'm like, today we're gonna share our
Yes,
recap
share
with
it.
the
Yes.
audience. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was why the God led me to contact you to come on and do this today with me. So I'm glad that you took
Yes.
time out of your schedule. I thank you. I love you. You are my sister. Okay,
Yes.
you are
Yes.
my sister.
We are locked in, y'all.
We are locked in,
Get in
baby.
the movement. Get a part of this community. Tap into what is going
Tap
on
in.
because as iron sharpens iron, you guys, we really want to love you. We want to know you. We want to meet you.
Yeah.
So watch that recap and send us feedback, comment, like, subscribe,
Yes.
do all
Comment.
the things. And seriously, y'all, reach out to us on these platforms if you have questions because you're gonna love this playback. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing afternoon. And we want to see you next year for 26. We want to see you.
Yep. So be sure to, like I said, it'll be uploaded tomorrow. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, spread the word, and like she said, like, comment, share with others. It will be up tomorrow because again, we are not gatekeepers. So this message needs to be shared. So I decided to upload the video of the conference tomorrow.
Nice.
To share with the world because I believe that lives will be changed. Like women
yes.
will want to take that step forward to be restored and ready to walk and live in their true purpose. Okay, so again, thank you all for tuning in. I wish you all a phenomenal rest of your week. God bless you and have a good evening. Bye.
We love you guys.
Sending love and light.
Yes. Good night.